I'd like you all, please, while I sing the Vandana, to close your eyes and genuinely make a connection with Sri Maharaji and Sri Radha Krishna. You can do this by calling them from your heart to please attend, to be here, to be with you. Bless you with their presence, and you can place a garland around their divine necks, pranam to their lotus feet, and from the depths of your being, offer yourself in love. This Vandana pays homage to the Guru. It starts by saying, I bow down to my Guruji first, for by his grace I have come to know about the divine beauty of Sri Radha Krishna. And then, of course, the verses go on to praise Radha Krishna and end finally where we request of our own self that we may, in humility, surrender to their divine lotus feet. So that is your job. While I sing the Vandana, you must work. You must make the connection. If we do, then this session will go very well indeed. If you're careless and I'm careless, then we may as well go and play a game of sport somewhere, which we're not going to do. So please, let's get serious, offer our hearts in love while I sing. Pratamam Kasturi tilakam lilata patale vakshyastale kaustubham nasagre varamautikam Kartale Venu Kare Kankanam Nama Kamalana Kamalama Nama Kamalapa Da Namaste Kamale Kshana Yo Brahmanam Vidhati Purvam Yo Vaivedansya Prahinoti Tasmai Tagvam Hadevamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mumikshurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye. Bhajo Giridhara Govinda Gopala.
Bhajo Giridhara Govinda Gopala.
Bhajo Giridhara Govinda Gopala. Ladli Lal Ki. So we're here to make a close connection with Sri Maharaji and Radha Krishna, and to ever deepen it until the job is done. And Sri Maharaji, with his Swarup Shakti, deems us worthy to live eternally in our hearts and divine eyes, our body, mind and senses, and give us passageway into the divine Braj. But we have to be proactive. We have to change gear. By that I mean, imagine you're driving along in a car that's got the old gear shift, and you're driving in first gear at speed, and your engine is making such a loud noise. The engine is begging, please change into second, change into third, change into fourth, change into fifth, where we can cruise towards Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And as I travel the world, I've met many of our satsangs, the clusters of satsangis around the world. And I find that there are two types of satsangi. One who's on the front foot, one who wants to do sewa, who wants to give their life, to be involved, to engage, to make Sri Radha Krishna and Guru the pole star of their life. And they will say, Bhaya, what can we do? How can we make your time here more productive? And then there are those who will sit back and be comfortable, chew the cud, and wait to be entertained. So let us be of the first category. Move forward. This body that we have, this human life, it is the greatest grace. We know this, we've been told it by our Sri Maharaji so many times. But we need to reflect deeply on this point. I'm sure you are well aware that of the 8.4 million species, only one is known as a karam yoni. That form which can do actions of consequence, fruit yielding. Kratu mayoyam purushaha tasmat krutum kuruvit. This verse explains this is the speciality of the human life. By engaging your mind, you can rise up to the celestial abodes, you can sink into the narak, the lower regions, you can maintain mrityu lok, the middle region, or you can go into bird life, plant life, animal life, etc. Plus, and this is the most important point, you can cross Maya, the wheel of birth and death, and realize the supreme aim of human life, the divine love, the infinite, ever-increasing love of Sri Radha Krishna. And so we have this body. But now we need to put it to use in the right way. You know, spiritual life, it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. Many people think I'll get to my spiritual life later. It's a luxury when I've got time to sit down and do meditation. But it is a necessity. To be a human being, we can rise from tamoguna, the darkness, through rajoguna to sattva guna to gunatit, and realize the supreme love. So everything that we have is dependent on how we utilize this human life and our mind. The storms of life We are in the storm of life. And there are those who are equipped for the storm, and those who are not. And when I talk about storms, I'm not talking about the external storm, I'm talking about the storms of your mind. Oh. Your anger, your jealousy, your frustration, your misery, your loneliness, your depression, everything is dependent on the way that you think. And when life challenges you, if you succumb to worldliness, succumb to anger, greed, jealousy, etc., then you are wasting your human life, wasting it. And who knows when you'll get it back again. When anger fills, how can you possibly be in a devotional state? Okay, understood. But the reason we don't appreciate our mind and our body and our senses, the reason why is because we have not yet valued what we have and who we are. There's a story, an event that Sri Maharajji tells. It's one of my favorite. It's becoming one of my favorites. It's about King Raghu, the grandfather of Lord Ram, the father of King Dasarath. And King Raghu was such a unique personality, obviously, but he manifested the beauty of his heart and mind through his deeds. And because he was the king, he had to look after his subjects. And so, whatever he had, he would dispense with wisdom to those who needed. And he would live so humbly himself. He would have clay pots, clay plates, clay cups. He lived so simply, and when people came and asked him, "Oh, Your Majesty, we have need for help financially, etc.," he would give. And so, his people loved him. All of his subjects said, "What an amazing king we have. He puts us first. He puts himself second. We have such confidence that if we ask, he will do the right thing by us." Oh, and they loved him for it. And the kingdom ran like clockwork because of it. One day, King Raghu said to a few of his courtiers, "I want to go for a ride in the country on horseback. A few of you can come with me. But I want to ride through the kingdom, through the countryside. Come with me." So, a group of maybe 20 with the king, they all saddled up on their horses and they rode out of the kingdom into the countryside. And after a couple of hours of riding, King Raghu looked at his assistants, etc., and he said, "You know, I want to have a break. I'm going to go and drink by that river over there and just sit there quietly and contemplate. Would you be so kind as to just wait here quietly while I go and have my moment's peace, my contemplation?" "Oh, yes, Your Majesty, of course." So the king, who was dressed humbly, without his crown, he went and he cupped the sweet water of the river, had a drink, and then he sat down like this and just went into a kind of a contemplative state. But just about 6 to 10 meters away, there were 3 villagers, and they were having a conversation. They were talking about King Raghu. They didn't know the king was there. They just thought some fellow had come down. And so, while they were talking amongst themselves, they were praising the king. Oh, what a king we have. How amazing is he? How generous is he? He gives everything away. Like this they were speaking. King Raghu opened his eyes on hearing this. He looked over at them and he said, "Hey, there's nothing special about that." And then turned back to the front again as if to carry on meditating. Wow, the bigger of the three villagers came sauntering over to King Raghu and said, "Excuse me, don't you speak about King Raghu like that. If you do, wow." King Raghu just nodded, and the fellow went and sat back with the other two. After a while, as requested, the king's messengers, etc., his courtiers and assistants, they came and they pranamed in front of King Raghu. They said, "Oh, your majesty, as requested, we've come to remind you, it's time to carry on." These three villagers were, oh my goodness. They couldn't believe that this was King Raghu, and they had just insulted him. So they went over and they immediately prostrated and said, "Your Majesty, we're sorry. We didn't know who you were." And the king said, "It's okay. But," said the tall man who had threatened him, "Your Majesty, please, would you graciously explain why, when we spoke positively of you about your virtue and your generosity, why did you speak against yourself? Why?" King Raghu looked at them and said, "What is it that you think I possess? For that matter, what is it that you think you possess? This body was supplied by Bhagwan Sri Krishna. This Atma belongs to Bhagwan. This earth, the sky, the trees, the grass, the cows, the river, the fish, everything you can see is provided by Bhagwan. What am I giving to anybody? I am merely passing over that which belongs to Bhagwan, and I'm passing it to another. My own prana is possible only by the Chit Shakti of the soul, and the Chit Shakti is Anuchit. It belongs to Vibhu Chit, belongs to Bhagwan. I can't even say my soul or my body or my house, my palace, my kingdom. Nothing. Anshonana vyapadeshat ya atmani tishtati. Actually it's a power. This is Sri Krishna's manifestation, Bhagavan Ram. So don't praise me for giving that which was never mine. You too should live like this. And you see, here's our problem right there. Me and mine. This is me. This is my body. These are my accomplishments. This is my property. Instead of honoring the gift, rather, I beg your pardon, instead of honoring the giver, we are inebriated by the gift. Which do you think is the most precious? The gift or the giver? Even in the world, on a birthday, whomever gives the gift to the person's birthday, whoever it is, do they value the gift above the person that gave the gift? If they do, they are upside down and selfish, wrong. And when it comes to this world, to our very breath, do we want to play with all of the things that have been given, or honor the one who gave it? Such a big point. Once when I was traveling through Australia, I went to a city where there was a young man, an Indian boy, who had moved to Australia to do university study. And he asked while I was passing through that city, "May I, Swamiji, have some time with you? Personal time?" I said, "Sure, of course." So when we sat down, I said, "How is your life going?" And he said, "Oh, Bhaya, you would not believe how gracious Maharaji is. I got an apartment just like that. I got a job just like that. And the job is such, I only have to do 2 hours a day escorting people to their cars on the campus at the university. Sometimes I don't even have to bother to turn up because it's such a strange job. Security, they call it." He said, "Maharaji is a wonder. He's doing so much for me." I said, "Yes, he is. He's all of those things. It's true." "Now, how's your sadhana going?" I asked. He said, "My sadhana?" "Yes." I said, "How's it going?" He said, I said, "What does that mean?" He said, "Well, Bhaya, to be honest, I'm not going up, but I'm not going down. I'm kind of stagnated, treading water." I said, you just spent 10 minutes waxing lyrically about the beauty of the kindness of Maharaji gracing you, giving you. Can't you give him something? Can't you make him happy? Do you have to get lost in the things he's done for you rather than be lost in him? You see, when you rent a motor car, I've done it a bit lately, Los Angeles, San Diego, Auckland, New Zealand, hire a car. And you drive it for 5, 6, 7, 8 days, and then you have to give it back. You're not attached to it. You're driving, you think, "Yeah, it's a nice Toyota Corolla. It's okay." And then you give it back. "Yeah, thank you." And this body, Sri Maharaji says 8.4 million species. Let's see. Give you celestial body, hellish body, bird life, plant life, animal life, human life. Yes, I'll give you a human life. Here, take. "Oh, I will introduce you to the Mahapurush myself. I'll come. Here, take. I'm going to give you Tattva Gyan. Here, take. I'm going to give you Bhakti Bhavan. Here, take." Dana is giving. We say, "Thank you. And we take the gift, but what about the giver? Why has he given you this? Why? To do bhakti. And the root word of bhakti is bhaj. To selflessly serve the one you love. And then he so sweetly says, "Look, don't love the world, it's triguna. If you love the world, you will be bound, maya dheem. You will be bound by the gunas, bound to the wheel of samsara, the cycle of birth and death. Don't just love me and Sri Radha Krishna." selflessly, nishkam prem. And I'm going to give you everything you need. Everything, house, car if it's necessary. Everything I will give to you. Human body, knowledge, my association. What are you going to do with the gift? You give it back. Give it back. I know in the beginning it's a little tough to do that. I found myself once using an example, sitting with someone. I said, look at your plate of food there, look at it. You've got all these different vegetables, you've got dal, you've got roti, you've got all of these things, and the whole meal was given to you by Sri Maharaji, Bhagavan's grace. And then what Guruji does, he looks maybe at the roti on the plate and says, give that to me. Now he's just given you a plate of food, but he's asking for the roti. Give it to me. And you go, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. So, but it's Maharaji asking, so okay, you can have the roti. What I mean to say is, Maharaji gives you everything, and then to test you, to release your grip, he says, give this back to me. Now give this back, give this, until everything is given. Some of you may recall that the personality may still be around. Many, many years ago in the 80s, there was a young man who had some physical disability. And he had a purse with coins in it. And every year in the old Sadhana hall, the first one, Maharaji used to, in front of all the satsang, during program, he would say, come on up, come here. And this person would shuffle over to Maharaji, and Maharaji would indicate, what's that? And he would be holding his purse. And he'd go, like, as if to say, and Maharaji would say, show me. So he would take all the coins out of his purse and put it in his hand and show it to Maharaji. And then Maharaji would say, give me one. Oh, reluctantly he would give it. And then Maharaji would say, give me another. Okay, give him another. And Maharaji made him go through a handful of coins. And the fellow was reluctant to do this, you know. He loved his coins. But Maharaji said, give. And eventually, Maharaji would have all of his coins in Maharaji's hand, and his hand would be empty. And then you looked at the face of this fellow, and he's sort of not sure about anything anymore. And then Maharaji would give him one coin back. And give him another coin. And Maharaji would give all the coins back, plus interest, from his own pocket. And then the fellow went away so happy. You see, so long as you say me and mine, Maharaji has to say, give it to me. Give it. And does he want the handful of coins, your house, your car, all the money in your bank? You say, yes, yes, sir. He definitely asked for it. But he gives it back. And he wraps everything in bhav, knowledge, devotion. Oh, this human life, I better look after it. I should do my yoga. I should exercise. I have to move well. Oh, I need fuel, food. I should eat well so my body's vital. And then I should think well. Think well means sadhana. Adal shraddho satat sadhu sangota bhajana kriya. Follow the will of the Guru. Follow the will of the Guru. Do sadhana, do seva. Make your life according to what he wants. He's given you everything for it. You just have to tickle your mind and realize the truth here. I cannot sustain breath without prana. Without food, I cannot sustain the energy of the body. There's nothing I can do without God's power. Bhagavan Shakti, Kripa, grace. If you take the other road, you know how Maharaji has said there's two types of teachers. The first, the final, the wondrous one is the Guru. And if you won't listen to the Guru, there's Maya. And Maya chases after you. You see, I said spiritual life is not a luxury, it's a necessity. There's a story that Maharaji tells. He says, once there was a fisherman fishing by the river, and he had one fish sitting in his basket that he had caught. And a little bird, a kite kind of bird, was flying along, wanting something to eat. And when this little bird saw the fish, it swooped down and pinched the fish and flew up into the air, thinking, I got it. And then he thought, I'll just go and land on a branch and eat this fish. While thinking like that in the air, it heard a very strong whoo, whoo, whoo. And the little bird thought, what's that? And looked around. Oh, there were 1,000 big black crows. And they were coming up behind the bird like this. Whoosh, whoosh. Well, the little bird thought, I'll get out of their way. So the bird flew up, thinking I'll get above all of these birds and they can fly underneath. But no sooner did the little bird climb, all the crows went up. Then the bird now realized, it's after me. Went down and the birds went down, getting closer and closer. And this poor little bird was getting so scared. And in the fear, dropped the fish from its mouth. And as that fish tumbled down by gravity to the earth, all of the big black crows went straight after that fish. And they fought amongst themselves to be able to eat it. And the little bird was left in peace. And it landed on a branch. And it thought, that silly fish was the cause of all my problems. Likewise, our ego, ahankar, so long as we think that we are the doer, that this is my house, my achievement, etc., the crows of anger, jealousy, greed, frustration, misery, carelessness, laziness, etc., chase after you. And you will have no peace. No peace. None. Even if you glimpse for a little while sattvic guna, where you feel a little bit of peace, from behind comes rajo tamo guna, dilutes your feeling of joy, and you plumble down, and then you've got to pick up yourself and climb up to the guna sattva, and then you fall. And this is all the world. Horrible. And so the ego, when you say this is my body, and I am the doer. Then Sri Krishna says, Nakara tutvam nakanamani lokasya Sri Jati Prabhu. Chalo, go on, play. And then he looks at Mother Maya and says, go on, go and do your work. This child of mine thinks that they are all powerful, that they can manipulate the world, they can find joy and happiness on their own, from the world. Well, Mother Maya, go. Go. Mother Maya rolls up her sleeves and says, yes. Whack, whack, whack. Everything comes. You feel tense, you feel miserable, you feel betrayed, you feel angry, passionate. Until you hear maybe the story of King Raghu. And you go, oh, you mean I don't have to control everything in my life? I just have to remember the Divine One. I still do the same deeds. I still go to work, raise the children, eat my food, clean my teeth, brush my hair. Same deed, but I do it for Bhagwan, Sri Krishna, Guruji. I still do the deed, but I do it for him. And when you start to feel like this, oh, there is such a big change takes over. There are three types of devotees. In the beginning, the first type, they come and they say, what's going on here? When they see Maharaji, they hear a bit of philosophy, they say, you know, this sounds good. I'll stick around a little bit. But their mind is chanchal. They don't understand much at all. Their knowledge is weak. Their faith, their shraddha is built on their likes and their dislikes. And so, when they come near the heat of the Guru, they have in the beginning a bit of a tough time. The doubt is there. And Sri Maharaji sees that, knows that, he shares the love, he inspires you, encourages you, but he gives pariksha, he gives you an examination so that you can see, hey, I'm down here. I need to lift my game. That's one class. Second class, in the middle. Oh, Bhaya, I've heard this before. Thank you. They have knowledge, they have faith, but they are not really putting it into practice. They want to change gear, like I mentioned at the beginning of this talk, but their mind sabotages them, and they allow their mind to sabotage them. So they come and they're in the middle region, they have knowledge, they have faith, they love seeing Maharaji, doing some kirtan, but they still feel this is their body, their work, their achievement, but still they're in the middle. And the third class, oh, Guruji, Haji, yes, 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 yes. In the time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you will have heard maybe of Raghunath Das. He was a high-class devotee, but he had to learn too. And when he came to the Guru, he had a lot of faith, and when he received the knowledge from the Guru, his faith deepened and he put it into practice, and he quickly rose through first class, second class, and came to the third class. Third class is where you can look at the Guru. He would look at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and internally he could feel the will of the Master. He could see by looking at the face of the Guru whether the Guru was pleased or unhappy with what he was doing and so on. So, one day Raghunath Das, he spread out his mat. He was wealthy, you know. He left a wealthy family, renounced, came to the Guru, but brought a beautiful mat. That's the only thing he brought with him. And as Guruji was talking, Mahaprabhuji, he just da-da-da-da-da, and he just glanced at his mat and carried on talking. Raghunath Das realized, oh, this is my mistake. I have renounced all of my wealth and my family life, the worldly life, but I've kept a very nice, beautiful mat, which is indicative of my past. So he picked up that mat, rolled it up, went to the local markets, found a very poor man and said, "Can I have your mat? I'll give you this." Fair exchange. And then the next day he laid out his old mat that he got from the poor man, and he could tell that Guruji was happy. And then he talked about being humble. And Raghunath Das used to go to the mandirs to request, "Please, can you feed a Baba?" And they thought, "Oh, that's Raghunath Das. He comes from a wealthy family. What a great personality." And they started giving him preferential treatment and more food than the other Babas. So then he stopped going to the mandir. And he asked, "Can you, whatever you get, can you just get a little for me?" Like this. And when the Guruji said you should be diligent and vigilant and you should not waste your time, he reduced naturally his sleeping to less and less. You see, the vibrations of Sri Maharaji, they are divine. Our vibrations are material, mayak. And he wants to lift us, lift us, lift us, lift us to the point where we are so open to him that he can give his full being to us. And if we insist on staying in Tamo, Rajo, Sattva, if we insist on staying in the world, our minds, they can't become devotional, cannot. So, this is why bhakti is the easiest path, because all we have to do is fall in love. And we fall in love with our Sri Maharaji Radha Krishna by understanding the very meaning of bhakti, to serve selflessly the Divine One. So what have I got? Dhana mana dhana, what have I got to give? Sab kuch, everything. I will give everything. And then you have faith. Whatever pleases him, I will undergo, whatever. And you know, we all have our prarabdha karma. We have to undergo avashameva bhoktavyam kritam karma shubha shubham. We have to undergo our destiny. As we have thought in the past, we have to undergo consequence. But Maharaji says, "TK, undergo your consequence. But I'll be with you. In every situation, if you love me, you trust in me, give yourself to me, if cancer's coming, if poverty's coming, whatever's coming, you have been through this uncountable times in uncountable lives. But the difference here, I am going to be with you and I will make my presence felt. Because of your love for me, you will feel me with you. And you will undergo your destiny and you will come closer and closer and closer and closer and closer until the final grace. Oh, we Stop. Let your shoulders go. Relax. Stop trying to manipulate the wind. Arjuna, you can't control the wind. Instead, let the prarabdha karma blow. But take me with you everywhere. And then when you get to this kind of stage, you'll be like a devotee, Amir Kusaro. There's a story Maharaji gives. He said to his family, come on, we're going to go and live with the master. Let's pack up our camels, put all of our possessions on these camels, and head off to our Guruji's ashram, Nijamuddin, Guru Nijamuddin. As this was going on, a very poor person came to Guru Nijamuddin and humbly pranamed to the Guruji and said, Masterji, can you help me? And Nijamuddin said, how? What can I do for you? Master, I'm ashamed to say this, but I need to get my daughter married and I haven't got enough for the dowry. I'm in a real state. What can I do except come to you, who is all gracious, all kind, all loving? Can you help me? And Guru Nijamuddin said, well, you know, right now, I don't have any money. But it'll come. Come back tomorrow and ask me. The second day, the same thing. I'm here, and the master said, I don't have any money. Come back tomorrow. Third day, he came. The Guruji said, I still don't have any money. And the man was crestfallen. And then the Guru said, look, and he took off his shoes, took them off there and then. He said, here, take my shoes. That's all I can give you. Take them. Well, the poor man thought, yeah, that's very nice, thank you. Thank you. He walked out the ashram thinking, well, this is not going to get my daughter married, and this is his old shoes, but, you know, they belong to the Guru, so... Meanwhile, as it happened, the disciple Amir Kusuro arrived. And as the man was walking away with the camels coming forward, Amir thought, I'm feeling some extraordinary vibration, some beautiful perfume. What is this? And then he spied the shoes that this poor man was now wearing. So Amir said to the man, hey, where did you get those shoes? And the man said, oh, Guru Nijamuddin gave them to me. Really? I got 4 camels full of goods. I'll give you 3 camels full of goods if you give me those shoes. Will you do that? Well, the poor man thought, oh, take. And Amir took these shoes and immediately applied his forehead, and he had a shake of the body. He was in a kind of a bow. He was so happy. And the poor man was so astonished. He said, you would give me 3 camel loads full of goods for the shoes of your Guru? Oh yes. I'll give my everything for my Guru. Everything's for him. I just want to be close to him, however it happens, be it a pair of shoes or in his company. I just want to think of him, think of him, think of him. Now look at your own life. Take a good look now. Where are you? This is not to incriminate you, make you feel bad. Look at Amir Khusro. Look at how joyful he was just seeing a pair of shoes that a poor man was wearing, and he knew it was from his guru. How much joy he felt. And now look at your joy. When you leave the ashram, if you're not a Mangalavasi, and you go back into the world, you get caught up in the tram lines of ordinary thinking. Then you get all crotchety, you beep your horn if somebody gets in front of you and they shouldn't be in their car. Oh, you start forgetting, and then you start to say, well, if I get time, I'll do some sadhana. And I'll give a little bit towards the charities that Sri Maharaji has initiated. Well, you know, this human life is meant to realize God with. Its sole purpose is to go to Sri Radha Krishna and Guru with your spiritual body, your bhav there. And when the time is come, you leave this physical body here, earth to earth, water to water, air to air, etc. Leave this elemental body here, and with the Atma, go to Yogmaya, the divine energy of Sri Radha, receive the body of the Gopi, the divine body, mind, senses, intellect. Yovhai bhumas tatsukam. Experience the ever blissful nature of divine Vrindavan Basana of Sri Radha Krishna. Take the seat behind Sri Maharaji, and he will look at you and say, collect some flowers. I want to make a garland to place around Kishoriji's divine, beautiful neck. And you run like a young gopi with your girlfriends, your hair bouncing, your beautiful colored saris. You'll plunge into the river of the Yamuna to get a lotus flower. You'll do all kinds of things. You'll pick all the beautiful colored flowers. You'll bring them all gathered up in your sari. You'll put them down in front of Sri Maharaji, and he'll say, sit in a circle. Here's the thread. Let's put these beautiful flowers together, while all the time meditating on Kishoriji, who's sitting there with such a beatific smile. So we move in the world from ignorance, we move to Gyan, to Bhakti, all the time we move through the storms of life. And they bother us less and less and less and less. And our love for Maharaji increases, increases, increases. And then we can't live without him. Ye yatamam prapadyante tansadhaiva bhajamyaham. Sri Krishna says, if you can't live without me, I cannot live without you. Come on. Come to me. So ask yourself now, what is the most precious to you? The gift or the giver? Think about it. Think what has been given to you. Our buddy Gigi once said, think again and again who you are. Think again and again who Sri Maharaji is. And think again and again what he has done for you, what he is doing for you. Be peaceful. Be joyous. This path is a path of love, of happiness, of beauty. It is not a path of incrimination. You just have to recognize a very few simple truths. This body was given, everything was given, this world was given, everything I can see was given. Everything belongs to Sri Radha Krishna. I just have to affect the union, the yuj, the yog, through bhakti yog, by the grace of Sri Maharaji and my effort that I put in, and Sri Maharaji will clear the way. He'll clear the obstacles, clear everything, like a person stopping the traffic. Come through, come through, come. Your mind's in the right place, your heart is in the right place. You've made me the apple of your eye. Therefore, I will direct all traffic of the world and give you a highway to me, so long as you keep putting that effort in. And this is the only thing that we have to do in this life. Ladli Lal Ki Jai.